Yesterday, the second public hearing from the January 6th committee happened, and it mainly focused on how so many of Donald Trump's own Republican allies told him that the election fraud claims were false. It also included more taped testimony from the Attorney General at the time, that's Bill Barr, and what he told Trump about those claims. So let's take a look together.
I told him that the stuff that his people were shoveling out to the public was I mean, that the claims of fraud were I thought, boy, if he really believes this stuff, he has, lost contact with he's become detached from reality. There was never an indication of interest in what the actual facts were.
We also heard how former President Trump used these false election claims to raise $250 million from his supporters. Now, it was supposed to go to an election official defense fund, but according to the committee, that fund does not exist. Instead, most of the money went to Trump's Save America Political Action Fund. There's also some testimony that Rudy Giuliani was drunk on election night and told Trump to declare victory, which he ultimately did. However, Giuliani is now disputing those claims. Erica's having a laugh. What's going on?
I'm sorry. We should just call him Giuliani for the rest of our days.
That's good.
I cannot get over.
That's good.
I cannot get over how much this man has fallen.
I know.
And he will not stop digging.
He's gone underground.
Yeah. Seriously.
It's bad.
There is not going to be any reason for anyone to take care of him after he buried himself alive. Okay? Yeah. He's buried himself alive. You know that man was drunk.
I know.
Allegedly.
And apparently he was
he was drunk.
I mean, yeah.
You know he started drinking at noon, and he was like, "Yeah, you won, dog.
Yeah.
Declare it, Trump."
Can't you just say
That's
it?
right.
He's like, just say it. It'll be fine. He's like, can I do that? Yes, say it. I mean, honestly, I don't want to get stuck on Giuliani, but I look at some of the younger PAs here, and they have no idea like where Giuliani was right after 9/11. Like, I mean,
America's mayor.
He was in the area of like, we might make a statue for you.
Of course.
Like that level. And now you're at the end of Borat 2. Laying flat on your back with some terrible shoes on. Like, what a sad, disgraceful fall. He's shaving in the bathroom at the airport. Remember that?
Remember Four Seasons?
Yeah,
landscaping?
That was maybe the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened in politics. Now let's get serious for a second.
Okay.
What I wanted to say about this, because I've been thinking about this all morning, is this is why I always had problems with conspiracies. Conspiracy theories, whether it was 9/11, remember all the loose change people, and the JFK, there's some plausible things there. But conspiracies allow regular folks like us to look at something in plain that appears to be in black and white and go, well, we don't know. There could have been another rogue organization. Somebody did not get as many votes as somebody else. They then told their people, we won. They then said, in order to make sure we win, we need some money. Those people were like, well, here's our money. And then they were like, oh, let's put this money in another account. And we're like, well, what do we do? This is just fraud. This is boring fraud. If you put this into a script, you would be kicked out of a movie theater, for a movie studio, for saying this is the most boring thing we've ever seen. It's A plus B equals C. They committed fraud upon the people that supported them most. And that's where I feel like the real moral crime was here, is that the people that were willing to give them money, probably money they didn't have, and now here they are saying, oh, I don't know, I told him not to do it, dog. Now it's all like, hey, that's on him, that's on him. They're going to pass the buck because they know at the end of the day, the only people that are going to be left holding the bag is their constituents that believed in them from day one, and that's a real crime.
Bravo for saying that. Representative Zoe Lofgren said this, quote, yesterday, the big lie was also the big ripoff. And I think the grift and the con in that is what's so it's salt on the wound, right? I also just want to ask everybody out there, all the testimony from yesterday was all Republican, every single one of them. And all of them worked for Trump and was in his inside circle. His campaign manager now, we know, knew that he lost. His attorney general, his top advisors, his legal team, his daughter knew.
Fox News, Tori.
Fox News knew,
called
right?
Arizona for Biden. Fox News.
So how do we think this wasn't a constructed fraud, like you said? And I'm thinking wire fraud, not just seditious conspiracy.
What?
It's a lot.
Wait, listen, let's stick on the fraud then, okay? Because I'm still believing that Trump thinks the election was stolen from him.
Even after all those people.
I don't think it matters, Tori. I think he's detached from reality, just like Barr said. He's detached from reality, very much like if you don't know politics, Amber Heard is detached from her reality, I believe. Jussie Smollett is detached from his reality. I believe these people have maybe a narcissistic personality where their mind won't let them believe that. That aside, that's what I do think about Donald Trump. As far as the conspiracy goes, or if they did take money and fraudulently scam some people out, because that's the worst part. These are the people that support you, and you're taking money from them. There definitely should be people paying the price for that. I don't care who it is, from the president to the vice president to all the way down. If this is happening in our government, from Trump, let's start going backwards. I want Trump to pay the price. I want people who are covering this up to pay the price as well. But if we're going to start doing this in our government, let's start going back, because I got a lot of things. The Epstein conspiracy, JFK, we still didn't open those files. I mean, when we say conspiracy,
I do want to stick to this because
I know, but okay, go ahead. I know what you're going to say.
No, but I do understand what you're saying is very important, because it is the people who are the most dedicated to Trump and the idea that he won. But here's the gag. Those are not the people who are calling it fraud. Those are not the people who think anything has happened. The conspiracy is really the belief of the mind. Like, when you say Trump's detached from reality, well, there's a whole community that supports that detachment because they support him. So they're not the ones who are calling fraud, although they were taken advantage of.
And they're getting in jail. I will also say that before the election, Trump said over and over again, if I lose, it's a rigged election. If I lose, it's rigged. He set it up. So to me, he's conned the grifters at his house, the workers at his Mar-a-Lago. This man is a con from the beginning to the end from what he does. He's already done it with charities. They're no longer allowed to work at New York charities at all because they defrauded children with cancer. So to me, he knew. And if he was so bad at reality and wasn't there, then he was unfit to serve. That's how I feel. That's how I feel.